We got one person in the chat. My whole house is asleep, so I'm going to try to talk as quietly as I can. My whole house is asleep, so turn my phone down. So, hello, if there's anybody but me that's in the chat. Some perspective stuff. Probably the only one here. Let's do some basic stuff. I'd go with go 2.5. What do you think? 2.5? It's about right. 2.5 centimeters. So 1.5, 1.5, 2. I don't think I gave myself enough space here. 1, 2, 2.5. 1, 2.5. Yeah, I don't think I gave myself enough space for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's gonna be kind of a short guy, isn't it? Like my little Spidey pose. Here's my superhero flying pose. Let's see. I suppose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could make him a really big guy. La 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 la. Now we're doing proportions here out of this book here. Marvel Way, learning to draw the Marvel Way. Let's see. So, no, cat. Nope. All right. My cat at my table. What are you licking? something like this. His head kind of big. Oh, no. Don't really have an idea of what I'm drawing here. I'm just getting a basic sense of the proportion. Looks like a big fat guy. We could muscle him up, I guess, later. I'm still at the point where I'm only drawing stick figures, so we could do something with him. Yeah, it doesn't look very good. Oh, we got 2 people in the chat. Who's joining me today? Speak up. Don't be quiet. I have to be quiet. I'm just drawing some terrible, terrible stuff today. Just trying to get some weird proportion stuff. This is obviously crazy fat. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and, I guess we'll play a page. Let's try here. I'm just working on proportion and stuff, and this one was terribly out of proportion because I ran out of page. So I tried to fill in, not necessarily with, the thing, but just seeing, all right, well, see what I have to work with. So it's kind of proportions are off compared to your standard stuff. Apparently I wasn't very good at recovering that one. Oh, here we go. My ice cream's nice and melty now. So I'm doing kind of, what do you call it, multitasking. I sent a quick synopsis of the story I'm writing, a 3-pager, to an artist. He's just going to do it's just a short prose story. It's not a comic. He's going to look at it and hopefully come up with something good. And I trust him because he came up with something good before. And then I'm doing some sketching. And I'm also eating some Haagen-Dazs, coffee, vanilla, and some chocolate crunchies in it. So yeah, multitasking. What we're going to do with this. I'm going to cheat a little bit. Do this little figurehead thing smaller. There's 8. We'll go with 8.5. So let's try to work within those proportions. Because the average body's like 8.5. So let's see. I'm also checking Twitter, so look at that. That's me being super multitasking. Probably not very successfully, but time for more ice cream. All right, so according to Marvel Way, superhero proportions are about 8.5. Depending on what you read, sometimes it's 8 3/4, sometimes it's 9. I guess it all depends on your style, depends on who's teaching it. According to Marvel Way, it's 8.5 heads. And let's see. So really what you got is the first head. And then you got neck proportion, which is about half. From there, your next proportion that you're worried about for your head size is going to be another head right here. And that will be about where the pecs are. So I'm just doing kind of quick sketchy of where the different parts are. Let's see. The next one, how big are those? So that's going to be about like that, I think. And then the next head down is going to be your waist. So it's going to be about that big. That's where your waist is going to be, right here. So your chest is going to be about half that. So about there is going to be your rib cage. So right in here is going to be your six pack. And another head down, going to be the groin. So there's your groin. Well, not your groin, it's whatever this guy's groin is. And then about another head down. Well, right there. Your knees. I think. No. It's not your knees. That's just the kind of tops of your calves. Where your calves begin, right about there. Your knees are going to fall about half of a head from there. So your knees are just going to fall right about here. And see if I get this right. There's your calves full there. The top of your calves to the bottom of your knees. It's about right here. Then I missed something. Pretty sure this proportions are way off. Because according to this is where the feet are. It seems really big for calves. That's not too bad, I guess. It's just a sketch. Now, width. How wide is it? Does it say anything about width? Let's see. No, it doesn't really say anything about. No, I'm sure it does. I'm just not reading it correctly. Let's see. Most average guys are about 6.5 heads tall. Let's see. Reed Richards, he's 8 3/4 heads tall. Don't look heroic, blah blah. Normal 6.5 tall person would make him seem somewhat dumpy. All right. Let's see what's in there nationally. All right. It says to draw the shoulders wide, but it doesn't give the kind of actual proportion. So let me see. We're gonna guess. All right. So here's the shoulders. I'm gonna put the shoulders right there. Oh, hey, the metal's on. Hi, metal. Hope I'm not talking too loud for you. Busting your speakers. My whole house is asleep. So I'm going to just do quick proportion sketch. Let's see. Based on what I'm doing in the Marvel way, I gotta stay up late tonight because I have to work. Well, just stay up until about 6 this morning because I have to work tonight. So I'm trying to get back on my sleep schedule. Let's see. That first muscle is going to come about here. And that second muscle come about here. I'm just trying to get some proportions down. Do some proportion exercises. Thanks for joining. You want to? Oh, what the heck? Oh, never mind. Am I still broadcasting? Looks like, there we go. Yeah, my Wi-Fi's doing kind of tricky stuff. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. Here's what I'm going to do. Give me a second here. Let me see. This is what I'm going to do here. Let's get on the chat. Let's mute that. Yeah. Got to do stuff early in the morning, so you're already up. Yeah. I actually have to go to sleep probably around 5:36. And jump back into bed. But let me see here. I may have figured out an issue, and perhaps you can test it out. What do you think? Let me see. There you go. See if that works for you. If you want to join. If you don't, that's fine too. Trying to experiment with some stuff. Did you catch me eating ice cream? Because you caught me now. I'm a grown-ass man. It's 5 in the morning. I'm eating ice cream. No problem. You don't have to join. Let's see. That elbow is going to be right at that waist pretty much. So about right there. So here's my elbow here. And we're going to put I know this is all crooked and stuff right here. Just obviously I'm going to eventually get this down, but Right now I'm just doing kind of proportion and experimenting. Seeing if I got at least putting the right stuff where it's supposed to go, to the right measurements. It's kind of weird there. His arms look really long. You know what, let's right there. That's where his arm should be, I think. All right, so there's a basic proportions. Let's see, how close am I? Gotta get my ice cream before it melts. I'll probably stick it back in the freezer here in a few minutes. This guy looks like he's wearing baggy sweatpants. Yeah, I ran out of heads down here. I didn't make it big enough. I didn't put it down far enough. So I was going with the 5 heads and see what I could come up with. This one looks a little goofy. Like I said, it's still learning. So just trying to learn all the basic proportions. Probably could do it better. Let me see. Let's do just a stick figure. Let's see. Let's go to waist. Okay, we're just doing stick figure here. So let's see. So his hips are going to be. His knees, ankles, feet. Let's see. And we'll go. His elbows are about here. And his hands are about here. So there's basic, I guess, stick figure proportions. Yeah, arms only look long because how scrunched up I drew them. Yeah. Oh, okay, maybe. I guess most people like their arms like hang. Oh, because I drew him like his elbows are all scrunched into his scrunched into his chest. So I should maybe stick his arms out a little more. Like them guys flexing at the beach. Hey, you know the way to the gym? Something like that more. I'm doing straight measurements too. Like I don't know if you caught the part where I actually took a ruler. You know, I said, all right, I measured the head that I did. I said, okay, that's about, all right, I did about 1 centimeter. and did just basically 8.5 or 9 centimeters is what it worked out to, and just under 9 centimeters. So I'm doing like right now I'm doing just straight measurements, and then once I get more of an eyeball ability, where I can kind of eyeball it a little bit more, that I won't have to. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so these arms, yeah, okay. I see what you're saying about the arms thing. They need to show some armpit here. Let's see, so your elbow is going to be here. So this is going to be more like what you're, well, I mean, maybe not like that, but he's also, well, he kind of looks like he's standing at an angle. It's like I draw him kind of twisted a little bit. So that's why both arms aren't hanging off to the side like this. The elbow and hands. These are all just throwaway, so I don't worry too much about screwing them up. As long as I get, the basics down. That's what I'm working on. Now I gotta get to, if you look, I did my little Spider-Man pose guy here earlier today. I talked to the guy from, who did Pistolera. So I did a couple of quick sketches. We were mostly on his Indiegogo, so I didn't do a whole lot of sketching. Did the basic Superman kind of pose, and then I did a little Spider-Man deal here. I never really practiced any of this when I was learning to draw as a kid, or trying to, aping stuff. It was all a lot of my stuff is a lot of stiff poses. I'm trying to, right now this is kind of but this is just learning the basics, a little bit stiff. But all right, I get with that. Kind of getting the arms away from the body type deal. Because your arms can't really, I guess they can hang straight, but see what that. If you're looking for something a little more exciting, a little better. This is what I'm kind of sort of going with as far as proportions and stuff. I'm not sure what the side to side proportions are supposed to be. Is it supposed to be a head wide for the shoulders? I'm not sure. I just kind of guessed because it doesn't quite say exactly. You do that a lot with the ruler. Excuse me. Yeah, I'll be doing at least a start. Using the ruler and stuff a lot. I'll probably start working a little bit doing cartoony type styles as well. It's probably a good idea to try to learn different styles in more unrealistic proportions as well as realistic for cartoony stuff. Jeez, my ice cream's melting like crazy. All right, give me a second. I gotta go throw this back in the freezer. My Haagen-Dazs. I'll be right back. I'm back. Yeah, so I'm getting some book. I'm getting a story published this month. I had to get some copies, some extra copies for try to sell them and give some away. You want a copy? I'll send you a copy of the medal if you want, since you show up all the time in the chats. And I just picked up the same publications, Ash Cane Press. I'm going to do a story for them in July as well. I sent a synopsis to the artist to do the main picture for it. So we'll see what he sends back here when he gets around to it. None of us are getting paid to do that book. It's more of an exposure thing, but hopefully, eventually, he's given us a few copies when when it prints out. I submitted to the Patreon to get a few extra copies to give out. So I'm basically paying them to publish my stuff. But I mean, that's not something I'm gonna do all the time, but it's the first place I'm being published, so I'm as a new guy, new getting published. Yeah, so just DM me your address or email me your address, whatever you want to do. IndieDaveComics@gmail.com. And as soon as I get one in, I'll mail one out to you. My story made the cover. The art for my story made the cover. I keep saying that just because I think it's cool. I think it was just because we were the first ones to get our submission in. But his work's good. The artist is a Carlo Salvo. It's good. It looks good. He's a good artist. Let's see. Everybody's looking the same way. Oh, the Spider-Man guy's looking that way. My Superman guy looking that way. Just flying around. What's going on down there? Let's see. What else can I do today? I haven't planned on doing that much. Maybe I should practice my eyes a little bit. Gonna work on everything, so. All right. So there's a head. And let's see if I remember any of the proportions for the face. I think the nose is about halfway to the chin. And the mouth is about halfway from the nose to the chin, if I remember this correctly. I know from previous that eyes, it's like 3 eyes in the middle of the face. You get your eye, and then you get an eye line, about an eye width, and then another eye. And then it was a basic face, I think. I think that's right. Do I got that right? All right, so yeah, so check out Carlo Savo. He's a good artist. Don't forget, if you haven't, check out Z Zombie 13. He's the artist I'm working on for some of the other projects. Kind of slow going since neither one of us is getting paid for anything. And he's working basically for a proportion of profits. And he's getting a greater proportion because he'll be doing all the heavy lifting as far as doing the drawings and stuff like that. Let's see, we got about 2 projects right now we're working on together. for the neck. I keep drawing, since I'm drawing it kind of an angle, I always kind of draw the chest kind of sort of cylinder-like. Like these are the shoulders. You probably can go a little wider on the shoulders. And like this is, I draw it almost like it's a flat top. And then I'm gonna draw, like I said, I'm still doing the stick figures, but let's see. And I guess this would be chest. My kids, I mean, I still play it now. Playing My Singing Monsters on the phone, and the songs get stuck in my head. That's what I'm whistling. Is one of the My Singing Monster songs. It's a weird little phone app game. La, do, 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 do. All right, so let's see. Stick figure. Here's the back. Here's the hips for the stick figure. Here's underwear hips. And I guess his arms connect right about there. I don't know what I'm posing him as. Maybe he's doing a drop kick. Let's have him doing a drop kick. How's that sound? Well, there's that. And his legs are going to come down kind of like this. Down. I don't know if that's properly proportioned, but that little drop kick. Yeah, I don't know why I remembered that, but that was just one of the things, and that's not even something that, because I don't think I've done all the proportion stuff for the face or read a lot of it. That's something I remember from learning to draw when I was younger. I think I got all the nose and stuff down too. There we go. It's Vision doing a drop kick. Or I guess if I did it right, it might even be Batman. I don't have any muscle knowledge yet. I haven't got that far, so we're gonna kind of guess at certain stuff here. Whenever I did like little cartoons, I would do like here's the hand, and it would be a triangle, and then when I did to the shoulder, it would just be another triangle, and then I would round it out from there. I don't know if I would do two sections of triangles or not. Maybe not. But that's how I would do essentially the forearm would be like a triangle, sort of. he's kind of sideways, so I don't have my muscles exactly correct, but that will eventually, we'll get there. We'll do a whole thing. We'll do a whole show on that eventually. We'll call that show What Indie Dave is Getting Wrong About Muscles. We'll just keep that. How's that look? That look all right? I always remember seeing the muscles drawn with these little things there. What I'll probably do is get some of those like muscle magazines from the store, and keep a couple handy for some reference. I know some of those guys get like ridiculously huge, like Rob Liefeld crazy proportion huge, but you can't say they're not realistic. Can't say it's not realistic unless they Photoshop them. They Photoshop all those muscle magazine dudes. And also, one of the things I remembered is, well, let's see if here's the head. Like wherever the ears are, I remember that the neck comes straight down from the ears when you're looking head on. I know some people will tend to make the neck a little smaller, but I think the correct proportion, if I'm remembering my anatomy correctly, the little bit is come straight down from where the ears are. And there's, I also remember, let's see, the eyes are the middle of the face. Eye length, that's like the brow. Oh, there's my, and it looks like Baymax. So I've been to the store. When I was at the comic store, I've been really getting into Mignola lately. So eventually I'm going to have to start studying him a little more and studying his art. Because I really like the way he does stuff. I got 2 Hellboy omnibuses, and I've been picking up Lobster Johnsons. I haven't read any of the Lobster Johnsons yet, but I've been picking them up, and I'm going to eventually dig into them. I just thought, since he looks like goggles on the way I drew it, it just reminded me of that. But yeah, I've been really getting into. I really like his storytelling too. You know, I read Hellboy Omnibus number 2, Strange Places, and that was a really good one. I'm just reading your chat. Let's see. My problem is between knowing first aid and practicing martial arts. I know anatomy really well, yet I still mess up muscles and drawing from time to time. Well, it's hard because that's another. I guess it's another proportion thing, is knowing which muscles and which proportion and how it should look. And I don't want to get into the whole. There's a Greg Land who traces everything. I don't want to get to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to trace muscle mag guys. So I'm just gonna have to kind of study where all the muscles are. And hopefully, Hogarth. I haven't gotten that far into Hogarth. Hopefully, Hogarth is that's going to be kind of his thing when I really start digging into it. Marvel Way right now is some good basic stuff, basic proportion anatomy type stuff. So I'm actually working with that one quite a bit. Let's see. Here's a arm. I know this is what, tricep, bicep. I think. Let me see. I think the forearm actually goes into the bicep a little bit. Am I right about that? Don't want to make it too fat because I don't think that's right. And then the wrist kind of goes like that. I can't go by myself because I have small forearms. Still got hands to work on. Let's see, a little fist. Let's see what my fist looks like. It's about first finger, halfway to second finger. So let's do, there we go, here's the thumb. First finger, about half a second finger. Hands seem to be about what gets everybody. So I'm going to try to really work on hands. I know this is way too thick. And here's my pinky again. It doesn't quite look right, but I think I made them just too big. Finger's a little too long, maybe. Something kind of covers up. Hold on. There we go. And some kind of covers the inside up. So yeah, I mean that's what I get to work on. I got all kinds of stuff I got to do. Let's see. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff to learn here regarding muscles and stuff. This doesn't look too bad actually. I mean, obviously, wouldn't rest on that for laurels. But for a quick sketch, for a beginner, that's not too bad. Masking goggles, actually, it kind of looks a little cool. It's like a masked guy with little goggles. With this, but I'm gonna coat some. Would have been like a trench coat type deal. I don't even know if the buttons are on the right side for that. Very good. Yeah, belt. There's trench coat guy with his weird little mask. All these arms should stick out a little more. There we go. Quick sketch. You just saw the beginning of a character created. Let's see. It's easy for you to reference what you need most of the time because you end up drawing yourself far more often than most people draw themselves. Except maybe Doug TenNapel. Yeah, I think Bigfoot Bill is kind of a Doug TenNapel insert. And everybody kind of puts themselves in all their characters because, I mean, they come out of your head, so all your characters are you, essentially. Or at least a different version of what you think you would be in certain situations. Did you see he's doing Earthworm Jim? That's his next project. I think that was his secret project he's been talking about. He's doing an Earthworm Jim comic. And he's going to do it just like the Bigfoot Bill with the hardcover and the super fancy whatever. I'm looking forward to that. I might actually have to have to forego some of the other comics I've been meaning to back because I'm going to want a couple of copies of that one. Yeah, I think he did the announcement today. I don't know. He says he worked out a deal that he couldn't refuse. So he's gonna do Earthworm Jim this year. Book 1. So he said book 1 straight up. So there's gonna be I guess he's got, I don't know what kind of rights he has to do the book, but he got rights enough to do them. And he's gonna do Bigfoot Bill 2 next year. So it should be a pretty exciting year for comics. I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to get more than one copy of that one, just because that's going to be a big deal. I think the return of Earthworm Jim. And you know what? Even like in the '90s or whatever, when it came out, I think I had seen the cartoon a few times, and I don't remember if I ever played the video game. I know it more from the cartoon than from the video game. And I don't remember why, but I remember when Doug came back on the scene last year, I recognized that he had done Earthworm Jim, and I don't remember why specifically I knew that. I don't know why his name stood out, because I wasn't a huge Earthworm Jim fan. I remember that there was a cartoon, and I don't know why his name kind of stood out a little bit. But yeah, now I'm a huge fan of his work. I got that Bigfoot Bill. I got the making of, and I'll probably pick up some of his back stuff too, some of his previous works at some point. All right. So let's. Time is it? 5:44. I'll give it 15 minutes. Then I'll shut down for the night. I should probably get to bed. Kids got to get up for school, and oh, you know what? No, just no school tomorrow. For us, we're having like a local holiday. They do like a parade this weekend, and they get carnival and all that. And they actually school shut down until Monday. All right, so nobody has to wake up in the morning. I still probably will go to bed in about 15 minutes. Hey, you want to see my Haitian curse box? This is what I keep all my supplies in. When I was in the Navy, we took a trip to Haiti, and these guys like rode up on these boats selling all kinds of weird stuff. And I got this box. And it's actually from Haiti, and it's got this little bitty lock on it and stuff. And I call it the Haitian curse box. And it's just this neat, weird carved wooden box. And it's what I keep my art supplies in right now. Not sure what it's made of. I actually at some point tried to varnish it. Or I do it with my pencil. Right. I tried to varnish it, and I didn't know what I was doing. And it's like a 2-part varnish. And I instead of mixing the 2 parts, which you were supposed to do, I like spread one on it, and then realized afterwards that you were supposed to put 2. You were supposed to mix them. So then I tried just putting the second one over it, and for like literally years, it was greasy. And the box was just greasy, and it never got a shine on it. So then I just left it, and now it's all nice and dry. And I'll just stick all my art supplies in it. Keep the Haitian curse box at my side. Holy crap, we got 3 people in here. So, got my soda still. That's right. I was eating ice cream and drinking root beer because I'm an adult and I can do whatever I want. All right. Let's see. What box do I have? Let's take a look at some dynamic anatomy. See what it has to say about some muscles and stuff. There's a lot of history stuff. I want to read all the history stuff in here. It's at the beginning before it gets into actually drawing stuff. Yeah, there's like 10 chapters. I'm like 50 some pages in before you actually get into drawing anything, any actual drawing instruction. Let's see. There we go. This is Hogarth's proportions. So this is the first. Let's see, what does Hogarth have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, about 8.5. So Hogarth uses the same thing. And actually the Marvel comic references Hogarth, so that's not really, shouldn't be surprising. Let's see. Interesting history on Hogarth. I think he went to like some art school, some big time art program when he was like 12. And he got out at, I think, 16 at the Art Institute of Chicago, I think. And for years he drew the Tarzan comic strip back in the, I think it was the 30s, before he started teaching art, or even probably while he was teaching art. I started on the head study here. I think I got as far as this right there. I think that's as far as I got doing the head study with him. I'm going to get back to it. But I started doing the kind of stick figure, dynamic posing type stuff. So, but we'll get back to it and start drawing, faces and stuff. There we go, right there. So, and his book reads like stereo instructions. Are you yawning back there? My dog's making all kinds of crazy noises. Let's see. Yeah. She wants to come out of the crate. We'll let her out here in a little bit. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. So here's some of the different angles and stuff. Let's see what else. Oh, here we go. Look at this. I did the eye study out of the manga book. Oh, stop it, dog. Here we got Hogarth's eye study. Everything looks like a freaking statue the way he draws it. All right, hold on. I'm gonna go let my dog out of his crate, out of her crate. Alright, go calm down now. Oh, I lost my page. Alright, what do you want? What do you want? I know you're happy to be out of the cage. We'll go out here in a little bit. See, look at that. Well, about them drawing a nose. Let's see. Jeez, eventually I'll get to that. Face wrinkles. Oh, look at that. I got his handbook. His book on drawing hands. He's got a thing in here about drawing hands too. So that's kind of neat. Eventually I'll get to that. So we'll have a couple of sources to work on for that. What? Hear her barking. She wants to go outside. Here's the names of all the muscles. So this will be definitely something to go over. Shush. Oops. Yeah, my house is a freaking mess. So that one actually is a good study. That's interesting. All right, so we'll be getting to there eventually. There we go. Oh, this is the good stuff right here. Hold a second. I'm gonna go kill my dog. All right. Well. Yes. Sure. Well. Yeah, she had to go out and chase the squirrels and the birds and all that stuff. All right, so that's some kind of handy, interesting stuff. Yeah, definitely. He's very classically art trained. I think this book was written. When was this book written? Let's see. Like I said, and there's a lot of history before you actually get to the drawing part too. All right, so this was first published in 1958, and I don't know how old he was, but I think he was. Like I said, he was 12 when he went into Art Institute of Chicago. But yeah, I mean, even if you're not going to draw classically, this is a good where to put your muscles and things like that. So this is some good stuff. I'm gonna pick up a Loomis book and see how it compares. I've been told Loomis is a good source for learning. Oh yeah, there's some good stuff in here. This guy's dancing, doing a little hip shake. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this whole chapter is just the arm. So that's cool. All right, we will get to that eventually. For now, I think I'm going to shut it down. Thanks for showing up again, Metal. Give me somebody to talk to. We're going to close out for the night. Where did I start? We're going to just say another hour. Let's see where my hours. See, look, I did a little, when we had Shinobi Sasquatch on, I did a little stick figure of the front cover of the book. So I thought that was kind of fun. Let's see, 7.5 hours. This was about an hour. So let's see. So 8. We'll say about 8.75 hours. That's about what we're at. For all my drawing I'm doing, it's 8.75 hours really, because I don't draw every day, and I kind of draw when I get to it. I'll probably do more of these kind of late night streams or early morning streams. This is my day to get back into my night job sleep schedule, so I'm up all night. So I figured I'd work on it. All right, 8.75 hours for. Is that light really bright? Yeah, it is. There we go. That's better. All right. Well, you have a good night there, Metal. I'm going to go probably do a few more things and then get some sleep. All right. Take it easy.